Today I have something special for you, a more advanced video. I am going to play a clip of Duncan Garner speaking, and I am going to respond to it. Don't get too used to this. I am going to make videos like this on occasion, but the bulk of my content will remain as usual. I simply could not stop myself from doing a proper response to this. Duncan's rant was so dumb that it motivated me to immediately download a screen recorder and prepare this video. In this video, Duncan is taking aim at the Green Party's recent budget. Anyway, let's get into it.
Greens, the radical Marxists, they lost their single economic brain when James Shaw decided he'd been trampled on once too often, and he wanted his life back, and he wanted a voice and to be heard again. So he walked away from the Greens, and his reputation, dignity and money remains intact, but he's left the Greens in the hands of the economically illiterate Marxist activists who use the word share like it's an act of kindness. When they say share, they mean strip wealth from the wealthy and spread it everywhere else and hope that somehow it works. And it means we're all going to have a better standard of living in life, and we'll all live happier lives if you take the money from the rich. Where's that worked? Anyway, Jacinda tried that. We borrowed the house down, sprayed dough everywhere, and what did we have to show for it? Did it solve poverty? It got worse. It's theft, it's jealousy, it's envy, and it's a miserable way to exist. Why can't the wealthy keep what they've worked so hard for? And why can't the Greens instead consider empowering their own people to get a better education, job, and then see how one day you might make it too? And when it says share in the economy, it means communism, where you tax the living bejesus out of anyone showing signs that they have money, and you then hand it over to people less fortunate. It's a social unrest recipe for that, isn't it? The Greens believe this is kindness. And they want us all to be like this and sign up to it. They want tax hike after tax hike. They want to usher in tens of billions of dollars of new taxes, wealth taxes, inheritance taxes. They want to borrow the house down. Forget it if you've worked your butt off and built yourself a small empire. They want to take it off you. Cut it up and share it amongst everybody else. So society is flatter and fairer, and where wealth isn't so obvious. And we're all the same and somehow really happy. It's a fallacy.
1 minute of ranting and so much stupidity to dissect. Duncan Garner apparently has no understanding of the concept of wealth redistribution. I don't know how a political commentator cannot understand this. The rich pay more tax, and that tax is spent on services that everyone benefits from. This is the norm in pretty much every society. I don't know why this is so difficult for Duncan to understand. There is nothing fundamentally new or radical about the tax and spend approach that is proposed by the Green Party. Yes, they are somewhat more extreme than most governments, but they follow a very common approach. Duncan Garner accuses the Green Party of envy. It is such a disingenuous and dismissive way of engaging with their policy. Why assume they are attempting to improve our society when you could just demonize them as jealous and evil? It is such a bad faith form of political commentary, and it is so lazy. And you could use this cop-out on anything. You are criticizing Ardern. You are just jealous because she is more successful than you. We could say this about anything. It is a lazy cop-out. And the poor have every right to be resentful, because the wealth of the few is based on the ruthless exploitation of workers and consumers. That is the reality. Being angry about that is rational, and don't ever let this pompous clown tell you otherwise. Duncan Garner also claims that tax is theft. This is yet another deluded view. The wealth of the rich is facilitated by society. They can contribute some of it to society. If they don't want to, fine. They can go live in the woods. See how much money you make out there. Wealth is dependent on society, and so the wealthy owe a contribution to society. It is not that complicated. And how would you have a functioning society without taxation? Tell me. Duncan Garner does not like the tax and spend approach. Duncan Garner smugly says, where has that worked? Where have high taxes worked? You don't have to look very far. From 1945 to 1984, New Zealand had very high taxes on the wealthy. And this was our golden age. We had a prosperous middle class, we had strong public services, we had great infrastructure, we had affordable housing, and we had low unemployment. They massively cut taxes for the rich in the 1980s, and it has all been downhill from there. The capitalist system naturally produces unjust outcomes. Huge wealth disparities born out of exploitation. Wealth redistribution helps to rectify this natural injustice. Duncan Garner has the deluded view that if you make money, you deserve it. If you ruthlessly exploit workers and consumers, you have no moral right to keep all of your riches. The very least you can do is pay tax, so some of it can find its way back to the people who made your riches possible to begin with. Supposedly, Jacinda Ardern tried this failed tax and spend approach. How? She did not even have the spine to do a tax on capital gains, which is something right-wing economic institutions like the International Monetary Fund have recommended. Jacinda Ardern was not despised because she taxed rich people and invested in public services. Jacinda Ardern was despised because her COVID response fell apart, the law and order situation deteriorated, her cabinet had no discipline, and they were constantly introducing and abolishing new policies with no serious vision for the nation whatsoever. Duncan Garner repeats the usual right-wing narrative that the solution to poverty is for people to just work hard and one day they will be rich too. That is actually what he suggested. You have to be economically illiterate to believe this kind of crap. Not everyone can be rich. You can't have a functioning society that is made up of entrepreneurs. Someone has to clean the toilet, someone has to man the checkout, someone has to stock the shelves. Society is built on countless working-class jobs. That is the reality, and no amount of opportunity is going to change it. The wealth of the few is built on the relative poverty of the many. By definition, not everyone can get to the top. Duncan is an economically illiterate clown. The solution to poverty is not working hard and becoming rich. The system will simply not allow it. And hard work does not make you rich. The average rich person would not last 5 minutes on a farm or construction site. We all know that. If hard work was rewarded, general labourers would be making millions. Many rich people get lucky, many rich people inherit their wealth, many rich people were exploitative and amoral. Of course, some worked hard, but many didn't, and many poor people work extremely hard. According to Duncan Garner, the tax and spend approach of the Green Party is communist. Incredible that people can be political commentators when they have a toddler's understanding of politics. Communism is not when you tax rich people and have public services. Communism is a system that abolishes class and private property. Under communism, there would be no rich people to tax. But Duncan Garner has to call everything communist to scare his audience. It is baseless fearmongering. This is no different to left-wing commentators calling the ACT Party fascist. It is dishonest, incorrect, and stupid. 1 minute of Duncan Garner and endless idiocy. How can anyone consider him a serious political commentator? Nothing original, nothing insightful, and nothing interesting. All he has to say is generic, right-wing talking points that you could get from any right-wing channel. He is basically just a New Zealand version of Rush Limbaugh at this point. It is utterly embarrassing, as though an avalanche of bad talking points can defeat the truth. Sadly, it often does, but we see through it.